when you became the champ, you beat Juan Diaz, right? You beat him to
Beat him
become the
up.
unit. You tore him up. You beat him to become the unified lightweight champ. But you were the underdog, and Diaz was undefeated, right? He was considered the young, hungry fighter, right?
No, he was a young fighter. I was a hungry fighter.
Got you, got you. What
I
tip?
had three. I had three grown. I had three. I had three kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had three kids. My daughter's birthday was 2 days from there. My birthday was the day before.
Wow.
I had just turned 36. I was a granddad.
When you
This was
fought
it.
Diaz.
I,
Wow.
it was no other way around that.
Wow.
There was one of three things going to happen. He was going to have to fight, kill, or die.
Mm.
And I was there for it.
Yeah. Yeah. You took his heart in that fight too.
I tried to take other stuff from him, but they wouldn't let me.
You took his heart, man. You took his heart, and you became the champ. So, what was it like going back home, not just as a professional fighter now, but you going back home as the undisputed? Was there family members coming out the woodworks? Did success
Of,
cause
of
friendships to
course,
break off?
of course, of course, of course. But you know what? I'm so real. I'm such a regular guy that my people knew I was going to look out anyway for who I was going to look out for. But the coolest thing was when I went home, they didn't give me they gave me the key to the city,
Mm-hmm.
and it was wrapped up in a piece of paper like this.
Mm.
And with a rubber band around. And I was like, oh well, I got belts. I put the key on the shelf with the rest of my stuff.
Right.
All my
Right.
belts came in. My belts came in, and I got my truck. I had a 1969 Chevy truck
Mm.
with a 455 rocket in it. And I also had a Corvette, 82 Vet. I had a 57 Bug. I had all kind of old cars. But I jumped in this truck and I drove to Tallahassee. And I took all three belts to Frankie Menace. And I showed them to him, and he smiled for the first time.
Wow.
He said, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do
Wow.
it. From the time I saw you come in the gym as a little shit, I knew you could do it.
Mm.
And I hugged him, took me out for hummus. I never had hummus.
Okay.
You know, we had Mediterranean food. I got back on the road and I drove home. The next day, I jumped in my Corvette and drove across town to the old folks' home. Doc Williams was in the old folks' home by this time. And when I walked in the door with my belts and my cases, the lady said, oh my God, it's you. And I said, ma'am, she said, do I know you? She said, no, we know you.
Wow.
She said, he's going to be so happy to see you. So we thought he was going to lose his mind watching you fight the other night. I said, oh, wow. She said, oh, my God. I said, is this kind of way I can surprise him? She said, yeah, go stand in this hallway right here. And we're gonna bring him around, and we're gonna sneak him in. So I can hear him coming. You can hear he was in a wheelchair by then. He could walk, but he would fall. So they wanted to make sure he wouldn't fall. And so goddamn, y'all know this my time to watch my goddamn story. Shit, ain't nobody come here. Ain't nobody come in to see me the time of day. They know what time of day it is. Shit. The story's on. Shit. What's going on? I'm like, and I stood up and kind of laughed because I'm like, this fucking curmudgeon. He is a fucking curmudgeon. Mean, spiteful old bastard.
Yeah.
And I love this man. I love him. I love him from a good, healthy place.
Yeah.
These guys are men that made me. They built me.
Yeah.
And
taught you taught you, you know, how to be a champion.
Taught me how to rock my shoulder and pick shots off with my hand up and down.
Yeah.
And he came around the corner and looked down the hallway and he saw me. Oh! He got up out the chair and shuffled over to me like he always did. Let me see him. Let me see him. God damn it. Let me see him. Let me see him. And I stood up and he was He stood up. He was every bit of his 6'4". He was tall
Wow.
as he could possibly be. He was he was oh he was a god to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took the belts out of the bag and I put the IBF belt in his hands, and his hands were bigger than mine by a lot.
And you got big hands.
And I got big hands.
Yeah.
And I put the belt in his hand, and I turned around to get the other belt. But he had the IBF belt in his hand. I'll never forget it. And there were tears in his eyes. And he looked me in the face and he said, "Look what we did.
Wow.
Look what we did. We did this." He didn't take credit for it by himself.
Yeah.
He didn't say, "Look what I taught you." And he said, "Look what we did.
Yeah.
We did this."
Right. Right.
He said, "It took me 50 years. He's the second. And when Frank said it just the day before, it took me 50 years to find you.
Wow.
And look what we did." And Frank said, "It took me 50 years to find you."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I realized that I was thought of many years before I was born.
Before you even showed up. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had that
So
plan and that purpose.
Yeah, you had two men with the same plan, the same purpose, that
Mhm.
trained together at one time, that had two different styles. One was a
Mhm.
boxer, one. The short guy taught you how to box. The tall guy taught you how to bang.
Mhm.
Who the hell?